Hey guys, Jennifer here with the Family Fudge, and welcome to Bunches of Lunches Subscriber Edition. Now, I have a question for you. If you could pick anything for your lunch, what would you pick? This week, for all of our school lunches, I let my subscribers decide on everything. And I couldn't say no to whatever they picked. Now, I think we ended up with some really fun and interesting lunches, and I can't wait to share them with you today. Now, before we get started, if this is your first time here, welcome. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. On this channel, I share videos that are all about family, food, and fun. So if that's something you're interested in, make sure to subscribe with your notifications turned on. That way, you'll know each time I post a new video. Okay guys, first up is a lunch idea from London, who is from Arkansas, and she requested a Cocomelon / breakfast themed lunch. Now, if you have a Cocomelon lover in your life, make sure to comment down below using the watermelon emoji. For me, all of my kids are actually past preschool age, so I'm definitely not an expert when it comes to Cocomelon, but I do know that it's a crazy popular show on both YouTube and Netflix, and it's full of cute characters, nursery rhymes, and there's supposed to be educational videos for younger kids. Now, I know some people really love Cocomelon and some people really don't, so I would love to know in the comments down below, what do you think of the show? Now, back to London's lunch. For her main course, she asked for a waffle. And of course, to go along with this theme, I'm going to need some red food coloring and some green food coloring. I'm just gonna add a few drops to each bowl. To make this easy, I'm using the kind of waffle mix where you just have to add water.
Wait a minute! Who are you?
Okay guys, I thought for sure that I grabbed the green food coloring, but you can definitely tell that this is not green. So let's try that again. Okay, this is much better. Definitely green this time. Now, you guys probably guessed what I'm trying to do here. I want this waffle to look like a watermelon. So to make this easier, I did add my waffle batter to some little baggies, and I'm just adding it to my little waffle iron. Oh yes, and right in the center, I just want to add a few mini chocolate chips, and that's to look like the watermelon seeds. And check these out, you guys. These came out so cute, and they really do look a lot like a watermelon, but they're not watermelon flavored. I'm not sure a watermelon flavored waffle sounds good to me. Now you guys, on the side, I am gonna go ahead and add some real watermelon. I feel like you have to have real watermelon with a Cocomelon themed lunch. And then, to go along with this, London also requested some edamame. Now, I have just enough room for some veggies. I'm gonna add some baby carrots in here. And then, since this is a breakfast themed lunch, I'm also adding an egg, a hard-boiled egg to be exact. Now you guys, anytime I want to make hard-boiled eggs more fun and special, I love to add them to egg molds. Most of the ones that I have came from my favorite Japanese dollar store called Daiso, but you can also find lots of these on Amazon. Next, London requested yogurt with granola. So I'm gonna make this into kind of a little parfait, starting with the granola on the bottom. This granola has little bits of freeze-dried strawberries in it, so it is really good. And then I'm topping that layer with some vanilla yogurt. Then I'm just repeating the process. On the top, I'm adding a little strawberry garnish and some fresh blueberries as well. And And you guys, after each of the lunches I'm making this week, the kids are going to take turns telling us whether they like the lunch or not. Okay, Griffin, you're up first.
My favorite part of this lunch was all of it.
Next up is a lunch idea sent in by Ava from Canada, and she requested a 2-color lunch. Now, in the past, I've made a ton of 1-color lunches, and I've made a lot of rainbow-colored lunches as well. I actually have an entire playlist of colorful lunches, and I'll link that down below if you want to check them out. But of course, for Ava's lunch, we're just focusing on 2 colors, so all the food must either be orange or yellow. For Ava's main course, she requested mac and cheese. And even though she's from Canada and using KD mac and cheese would totally make sense, I actually have something else in mind. Keeping with the orange and yellow theme, I'm going to make both the yellow Velveeta and the orange Cheeto mac and cheese. Now, with so many different kinds of mac and cheese available, I'm always interested to know which one do people prefer the most. So if you have a favorite brand of mac and cheese, please let me know in the comments down below what it is. I'm gonna guess that most people prefer Kraft, but I might be wrong. So now comes the fun part, mixing the two together. Now I'm just going to get this really interesting mac and cheese into our thermos and then move on to the rest of this colorful lunch. For Ava's fruit, she requested oranges. And to go along with that, to represent yellow, I'm also adding pineapple. For her veggie, she asked for a combination of carrots and corn, again keeping with that orange and yellow combo. And then for Ava's snack, you guessed it, another fun combo of both Cheez-Its and Goldfish crackers. And now you guys, like I said, for these lunches, I can't say no to any of these lunch requests. So, for the sweet treat, I'm adding 2 kinds of candy. And now, last but not least, a very special drink. I'm going to start by adding lots of orange and yellow reusable ice cubes. Then, to this, I'm combining both orange juice and pineapple juice. And I'm kind of in shock, you guys. I can't believe I was able to pour both of these drinks simultaneously without spilling. Because if you've been watching this channel for a while, you'll kind of know that I have a history of spilling things. Okay, Jackson.
My favorite part of this lunch was the mac and cheese and the oranges.
Now this next lunch idea comes from Olivia from Alabama, and for her lunch, she requested everything be triangle shaped. Now, I've made lunches with lots of heart shapes and circle shapes before, but I've never made one with all triangle shapes, but it does sound like a fun challenge. For Olivia's main course, she requested a non-bread pizza, and to make this easy, I've decided to use some round non-bread. Very simply, I'm just going to trim off the edges to create a square, and then I'm going to cut the square in half to create the triangles. Now I've got my helper Griffin with me to do the rest. First, he's adding a little bit of sauce, followed by a sprinkling of mozzarella cheese. And now we're going to top these with some triangle-shaped pepperoni. These little pizzas just take a few minutes in the oven and then they're good to go. Now moving on to the fruit. First, Olivia requested some dragon fruit. And if you've never tried dragon fruit before, if you get an unripe one, it doesn't have much flavor. But if you get a good one, I think they have sort of a mildly sweet flavor that reminds me of a cross between a pear and a kiwi. And of course, I'm just cutting these into triangles. To go along with this, I'm also adding some triangle-shaped watermelon pieces. And for the veggie, I'm adding just a bit of cucumber with carrot. On the side, I'm adding a snack that always comes in a triangle shape, popcorners. And these are actually the cheese-flavored ones. For Olivia's sweet treat, I'm going to cheat just a little bit. She asked for oatmeal cookies, so I'm just going to take these oatmeal squares and cut them in half, of course, to make a triangle. Okay, Jackson, what did you think?
My favorite part of this lunch was the pizza, but I didn't like the triangle carrots.
Okay guys, now that brings me to Greta's lunch. Greta is from Malta, and she asked for a birthday lunch complete with a peekaboo sandwich. But this time, this peekaboo sandwich is getting cheese. Now, first, I'm gonna go ahead and start by cutting the crust off of the bread. Otherwise, it won't actually fit into my lunchbox. Then for the peekaboo window, I'm punching out the number 10 to celebrate Greta turning 10. And then of course, next comes the 3 cheeses. I'm adding cheddar for the taste, mozzarella for the meltiness, and to make it extra ooey gooey, I'm adding a slice of classic American cheese. Now to my panini press, I'm going to add just a little bit of butter. That's going to help get our sandwich nice and crispy. But if you don't have a panini press, you could also make this grilled cheese in a regular pan. You're just going to want to make sure not to cook it too much on the peekaboo side, otherwise your cheese might leak out. For Greta's fruit, I'm adding some green grapes, and for her veggie, a combination of carrot and cucumber. For her snack, she requested rainbow goldfish, and then for her sweet treat, she requested mini muffins. And you guys, I found the perfect ones for a birthday lunch. These ones actually have sprinkles mixed in, kind of like a funfetti cake. And then last but not least, for Greta's drink, I'm adding some Sprite. And I was able to find it in these cute little tiny cans. Okay, Lily.
My favorite part of the lunch was the sandwich.
This next lunch idea comes from Xanthi from Australia, and for her lunch, she requested some Aussie favorites. For her main course, she asked for a sausage roll. And you guys, I have to admit it before today, I'd never made this before. And just like when I made the arepas for the Encanto lunch, when I looked up recipes on sausage rolls, I quickly learned that there are lots of different ways that people make these, and everyone makes them a little bit different. So I just picked out a recipe that looked easy to make, and I'll link that recipe down below if you want to make these yourself. Now, some recipes that I saw said to leave these whole, just like this, while others said to go ahead and cut them before baking. So I do want these to fit in our lunchbox, so I'm going to go ahead and cut them. While those are in the oven, I'm going to move on to the rest of the lunch. For Xanthi's fruit, she asked for banana slices. So I'm adding some of these yummy banana chips. And for her veggie, she asked for carrots, and to switch things up a bit, I decided to go with these matchstick carrots, which are cut really thin. For Xanthi's snack, she requested chips, so I decided to go with these poppables because number one, they fit really well into lunchboxes without getting crushed, and you guys, these ones are actually salt and vinegar flavor. Okay guys, now that brings me to the sweet treat, and I'm super excited about this one because it's fairy bread. Now, if you've never heard of fairy bread before, I do have an entire video all about it that you can check out, but this is definitely an Australian thing. It is really fun and really easy. Okay guys, now our sausage rolls are finally done and they are smelling so good. I'm going to go ahead and add just a few of these to our lunchbox, and to go along with them, I'm also going to add a bit of ketchup. Ooh! You guys didn't see that, right? Nobody saw me. And now finally, to finish off this lunch, I'm just going to add a grape flavored Fanta. Now I think these sausage rolls turned out okay, but they didn't look super authentic compared to the ones I saw online. So if any of our Australian friends out there, if you have any tips on what I did wrong, please let me know in the comments down below. Okay, Kenzie, what did you think?
My favorite thing was the sausage roll and the fairy bread.
Okay guys, now these lunches were so fun to make, and I really love getting to try new things. If you have a lunch idea you'd like to send in, first make sure you're subscribed, and then you can use a link in the description box below to send in your idea. I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.